very warm welcome to chief guest of today, Shri Arvinder Singh Sahni ji. Thank you very much, sir, to be here and accepting our invitation in very short time to grace this inaugural function. Thank you very much, sir. Today we have Ms. Patra Maneshan. She is Secretary General Operation Packaging Federation and Deputy Governor Industrial Service of Thailand, Institute of Scientific and Technological Research. Welcome you India, and on behalf of Indian Institute of Packaging, I welcome Shri Anil Raju ji, who is Vice Chairman of Indian Institute of Packaging. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
And as a part, already you are part of our Indian Institute of Packaging family. On the dais, I welcome Chairperson of Indian Institute of Packaging, Delhi, Ms. Reshma Khan. She put all efforts to make this program a successful and grand one. I welcome you, madam. I welcome Ms. Asli Khan. She is a immediate past president of Asian Packaging Federation. Really, I thank and I welcome you, especially bringing all the speakers from Asian subcontinent, and continuously your support. I welcome you, and as a team leader, and always you have shown your love and affection to Indian Institute of Packaging industry of the country. I welcome you. I welcome Ms. Araina Sushanti. She is a Director of Business Development, IPF Indonesia. I welcome you, madam. I welcome Shaira Rozan, Chairperson, Israel Packaging Institute. I welcome madam. I welcome all the esteemed delegates, speakers, panelists, chairperson for this 2 days Asian Packaging Congress. The team behind of this whole show, I wholeheartedly welcome, led by Sri Shubodh Gupta ji, who is our mentor for this program. I welcome Rakesh Shah and other members of NRC who put his all minute-to-minute efforts to make this program a good shape. Thank you very much. I welcome you, sir. I welcome the delegates. Without delegates, this show is not possible. And of course, my team of Indian Institute of Packaging from all other regional centers as well as our IIT Delhi team. I welcome you. And of course, my students, the researchers of different parts of the country who gather for this Asian Packaging Congress and the concurrent event of the research conclave. That is the initiative taken by this NRC team. In absentia, my Director of Indian Institute of Packaging, in charge Director Shri R.K. Mishra ji. He is supposed to join this inaugural program, but due to other commitment in ministry, I hope he will join afternoon session. We all know the packaging has always played a significant role in our each and every day of day-to-day life. From production to the ultimate consumer destination played a significant role. But the packaging need to be in sound, safe and secure condition. With this word, once again, wholeheartedly I welcome each and every stakeholder for this 2 days Congress. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Due respect, I now invite Shri N.L.N. Raju, Vice Chairman IIB, to enlighten us with his words of wisdom. Can you all please welcome him on the dais?
Good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you to this Asian Packaging Congress, Packaging 3S, Safe, Secure and Sustainable, being held today and tomorrow. I am very happy to be here amidst of all of you, trying to learn what we can do together to bring further changes in the areas of these three parts: safe, secure and sustainable. Personally, coming from as SIGNOR, engaged in secondary, tertiary and transport packaging, and as Vice Chair of IIP, I'm very proud, as most of you here, in participating in the transformation that happened in the past 37, 38 years that I've associated with the packaging industry. I've seen the days when the coils rolled down the rail wagons and killed people, leave alone the product damages. I've seen the days when the boats sunk because the product was not lashed secure properly in the hulls of the ships. I've seen many areas where products damages got to the extent of 20% of the goods shipped. I mean, 2% to 20% was considered pretty normal. See trees cut to lash, or you put the container, goods in container and put tons of wood to choke and then secure goods. I've seen enough of those kind of things to make the product arrive in a safe, secure condition, but leaving that sustainability part aside. However, I think in the past 37 years, thanks to many of you who are from packaging industry, users, packaging consultants, designers, and especially the end users, have demanded the change. Industry, of course, we had to reduce the costs, and wastage is not easy one. Is telling on bottom lines of the industry. Right, so from those days, I think today industry knows or transformed, started using many different materials than what were used. Today, the consumer demands much more. Easy to unpack. It has to be individualistic. I should be able to dispose the unpacked material easily, not just consumer, even B2B or B2C. It's one of the biggest areas. I'm sure that with the wisdom of all the speakers and the opportunity that we have to network here, the opportunity that we have to speak to each other, and the opportunity to reflect on the experiences you all carry to this forum, I'm sure many of us learn from each other and bring a change further that the consumers, or whether it is B2B or B2C, are asking for change in this, and the society at large is asking for, saying it has to be a much sustainable world going forward. Wish you all the best. I'm here to enjoy, learn the next 2 days amongst you and with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Indian Institute of Packaging who invited me here to join the today conference, the Asia Packaging Conference on Packaging for 3S, Safe, Secure and Sustainable. Here with all of you, our friend packaging community in India. With the aim of Asian Packaging Federation or APF, in order to enhance cooperation among all packaging related organizations, not only for protecting the products, but the quality packaging can add value to the products, define brand identity, attract consumer attention, enhance consumer experience. To highlight the latest trends, technology, and innovation of various packaging material, machinery, and automation to increase the productivity and reduce waste and experience related to packaging. At this auspicious moment, have a good time and enjoy the conference. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I welcome especially Ms. Manison and her associates and all the delegates who have come from abroad and from different parts of India. So it's a very wonderful morning, and so many industry people are here and we get the opportunity. Coming to the industry, as we see it, as I see it personally, that with Indian industry, Indian packaging industry, there is almost no limit where we are going to grow. Young population, and this young population is going to be there till 2070 by some estimates. Up to 2070, India will be the youngest nation. Then coupled with the urbanization, coupled with the growing middle class, every minute the middle class is growing, every minute the urban population is growing. We have spareable income to spend, to buy things. So immense. There is no limit to it. So given that, the opportunity is there, the potential is there, and potential is being nurtured also. I am not saying that we are not doing it. Say that we are one of the very few people who are investing heavily in petrochemicals right now. Nobody else is doing right now. We are putting up sort of, I can say, if you say the total petrochemical field, wherever we are today, we are at say X. Within 3 years, we will be at 2X. And within up till 2030, from today we will be at 5X. Person, I know that yes, we are doing enough. We are doing lot of things which we are not able to communicate, which we are not going to address to the people. That is a challenge that I see personally, and then that is the only challenge that is going to come to this industry, the perception of public, and that has created problems in the Western world. That has already created problems in the Europe and all European countries and elsewhere. But in Asia, it has not created a problem in such a big way, but it has a potential to do that. So we have to address that issue. We have to be aware of that issue, that how we can change that perception of not doing enough on sustainability. And yes, we can do so many things. We can go on creating means of biodegradable packagings. Over the next 2 days, when the technical sessions are there, they will be more focused on the technical issues related to the packaging industry, and we will be very interested to know the outcomes of those. With these words, I will say thank you and welcome, and I wish all the best to the whole Congress. Thank you.
Of the packaging industry to exchange knowledge, expertise, innovations, researches, while ensuring sustainability at the core of it. Due to the collective efforts of the seasoned NRC team members, thank you team. Also big thanks to our chairman, Mr. Vagish Dixit, who encouraged us throughout this endeavor. We are highly grateful to our sponsors for their unflinching support and wisdom with us. And last but not the least, we fully acknowledge the attendance of all delegates who are busy professionals and hold key positions in their companies, who have spared 2 days of their valuable time to join us. We hope this conference gives you a platform for fruitful debates, constructive solutions, new pathways of information and knowledge, insights, and has a positive impact on the packaging community. As no community can progress without its researchers and innovators and thinkers, so keeping in mind this factor, we have organized a research conclave alongside for our innovators to present their newest innovations, discoveries. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.
IFP. She has more than 20 years of experience in packaging field. She is a member of jury of Packaging Design Contest Asia Star Awards. She is a member of jury of Indonesian Good Design Selection. She is consultant for Ministry of Cooperative and SMEs on redesigning packaging for SMEs. She is also publisher of Indonesian Packaging Directory. 4 editions have been published by Indonesian Packaging Federation so far. She is a guest lecturer in several universities in Indonesia.
So increase focus towards sustainable packaging solution. Yeah. That's why we are all here. Yeah. And then by material type, the biggest one is plastic, because plastic is more economical at this time. Yeah. Followed by corrugated board. Especially in Indonesia, yeah, plastic is the biggest, and then followed by corrugated board, glass, can, and many others, maybe combination from other material. And by application, the biggest one is food and beverage. In Indonesia is about 68% from the total packaging used by F&B, and then followed by electronic, pharmaceutical, health and personal care, household, and other. So that sustainable packaging business growth, yeah. Actually, sustainability is not the key driver of innovation. The green innovation has been one of the most striking trends. Companies are responding to external pressure and environment regulation, as well as consumer civil society group and investor. Designed to reduce product waste and eliminate hazardous material, use recycled materials, use of renewable materials, designed to minimize litter, design for transport efficiency, and design for accessibility.
My name is Aslıhan Arıkan. I am the Secretary General of the Turkish Packaging Association, as presented now. It is my great honor and pleasure to be with you today. Sustainable Packaging Congress, Packaging 3S, Safe, Secure, and Sustainable. I will talk about the sustainability roadmap of the packaging industry, cultural and manufacturing industries. It is needed for trade, and it has many requirements, but the most important requirement of the packaging is the protection against the external environment, and we saw this during the pandemic. Unfortunately, the image of the packaging after use is preventing its most important function, which is to protect the product.
Whatever brand interaction we do, whatever market intelligence we collect, based on that we came to a conclusion like there are few trends which are dominating the market today. First of all, one is the internet of packaging. Of course, smart labels have came into picture, and now people are, both brand owners and people are demanding and supplying the way smart labels are designed. More and more interactive packaging is coming. Brand owners are trying to incorporate maximum information on the label itself, and they are providing QR code, RFIDs, those kind of facilities on the labels itself, which will provide more and more information to the consumer. This basically improves the security authentication part. Also, it also helped in improving the connectivity between the brand owner and the consumer. Next is biodegradable packaging. We all know this is an eco-friendly alternative. So what came is like people started producing raw materials from natural resources, like sugar cane, coconut hair. So these are completely biodegradable. So some part of plastics started shifting into these raw material sources. Then digital and 3D printing. This was another innovative trend which came into the packaging industry. Like most, because COVID showed us like there will be labor shortages at times. and we need to have certain automations in place which will take care if certain shortages of manpower happen in the future also. So digital and digital printing machines and which are less laborious were one of the dominating trend.
Now from April 1st of 2023-24 financial year, SEBI has mandated the requirement of ESG. It will be part of the annual report. All the ESG related actions, activities which you take part in your company will have to be scored and reported to the stock exchange and the SEBI. So this is going to create a very drastic change in the way we are going to use the packaging and where we are going to produce the packaging material. And of course, this is also a resultant, the flexible packaging market, which is growing at almost 4.5 to 5% of CAG. And the generations to come, which will be using the packaging material, will be very different than the generations which we are and we were using the packaging material. So what are the anticipated changes? We'll quickly talk about a few anticipated changes which are going to hit us in the very near future. As an industry and the brand owner, we have to adapt to this very quickly, because these are the changes which are around us and we are seeing it on a daily basis. We all talked about evolution of sustainable packaging. Material will have to be sustainable. The regulators will be hovering around us to make sure that we make only sustainable packaging material. Recycling technology, the infrastructure for recycling, everything will be in place in a short period of time from now. The EPR is already implemented. We are in the middle of it. So you will see a lot of recycling coming in. As I said, the EPR is also a roadmap for the country. It gives you a 10-year roadmap for circularity, and hence it has gradually increased the content of packaging, recycled content. You have to make the packaging material with use of recycled content. A lot of recyclable packaging structures will also come in. A lot of materials which are hard to recycle, like aluminum foil, paper-based laminate, will be out of the market very soon because of the regulators and because of the consumer awareness regarding the sustainable packaging. Evolution of biodegradable packaging material. I think by 2030, I very safely assume that about 30 to 40% of the packaging material will be biodegradable. A lot of activities, lot of fund allocation has been happening in this area. Many packaging companies I have known, they have increased their R&D allocation. Like in UFlex, we have an allocation of more than 2.5% of the top line, especially focused on developing biodegradable material. The standards laid down by the BIS committees are very strict standards. It wants to see 90% biodegradation without microplastics in the open condition, the littered condition, to be able to provide you the license to manufacture biodegradable material. So these are strict standards, and the industry is struggling, and industry, ultimately it will boil down to the scientists. The scientists will have to come forward and develop something which looks like a distant dream today, but I very safely assume that it will be, the consumption will be touching more than 30% by year end 2030.
The industry, can you just throw some more light onto that?
7 are related to environment. So the social and governance point will have to come from the corporate culture and the corporate governance part. But these are 7 in numbers, but they are very critical ones. So anybody who wants to have a higher score will have to target a reduction in carbon footprint. First of all, monitoring carbon footprint is not happening in our country. So we have to start monitoring the carbon footprint and lay down a plan of action on how do we come down on the carbon footprint. I'll give a small example. So typically a packaging laminate in the country is manufactured at around 2.8 to 2.9 kg of carbon dioxide per kg of laminate. This is the general trend. Against the likes of Amcor or Huhtamaki, they are much lower in the carbon footprint. I mean, the main contributor to the carbon footprint in our country is the shipment cost.
In our work in terms of biodegradability and all, we found that some of the small startups are coming up with some agents which can be added with some of the resins. It is not for all resins, but if you add those agents in a very minor percentage with these plastics or resins, it will biodegrade over a period of time. You can give a shelf life for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years and all. But why not these big companies are coming into that mainstream business where it can help all the polymers or all the resins to go with the which can decompose over a period of time. I saw this only with the startups or small companies, but I have not seen this initiative from big companies.
Always possible with such kind of functional additives like which induces biodegradability. Because if it shifts to my other grade, so there will be likely quality repercussions in such grade. So within such big plants which we are having right now, it is we have our own limitation to put only specific additives.
In your country, for making more recyclable content in laminates, how do you incentivize so that more and more recyclable content is added to laminate and packaging as a whole?
Plastic Recycle Association, but now, up to now, still no incentive from the government. They are still fight for it. Even the government will give regulation, plastic tax like ASEAN, plastic tax, but we cannot replicate from Europe like that. Yeah. Like in Europe, there is a plastic tax, and then they can manage for incentive in our country. Yeah. Like if we follow European regulation, it's not working because it's different culture, different social impact, and different economy as a whole.
At the beginning, Turkey is next to Europe, and we are now preparing our circular economy package with the European Union's funding. And in this package, the recyclers should transfer their operations to the modern recyclers. But it is not easy for mechanical recycling because waste is not collected separately, unfortunately.
Arvind Singh with us. He is GM Marketing and Sales of AGI Glass Pack Limited. He has 18 plus years experience and in sales and business development across different product lines. So we have this galaxy of excellent, outstanding speakers with us.
For optimization, that under that we have to design the packaging that will fulfill all the functionality that is required and protect and extend shelf life. But then we also have to act responsible and try to reduce as much as possible while not damaging the functionality of the packaging, but not only decreasing the packaging weight, but also decreasing the waste, the energy use, the water use, and even the way that the consumer uses the product itself. Then we have the responsible sourcing, as we have this goal of keeping perishable resources. So here we have options like renewable resources, recycled materials, but we have to make sure that they don't contain harmful substances. The third approach is about circular economy, that under it we will have the recycling or energy recovery, biodegradability or compostable, and of course reusability. And the fourth and last one is about non-disposable packaging. So we see here solutions such as edible packagings, water soluble, and also here reusable is not disposable. Sustainable solution because it's a reusable bottle. He put in public places big caves saying one family, 5 years, 7,050 bottles and cans can be replaced with one bottle and one small carbonating machine. And this did a very strong effect, and afterwards they were sold to PepsiCo, and now they're a worldwide company.
Today's consumer, are they really concerned about packaging? Are they willing to pay? One of the challenge when we talk on sustainability products is, are they willing to pay enough for it? That's the question. So there is a survey done by McKinsey, which clearly shows that consumers are willing, they're extremely concerned on the impact on the environment, and they are willing to pay for the sustainable products. Particularly you can see the bar on Asia, which is China, India, Indonesia. I feel so that because 40 to 50% of packaging goes into a food and pharma. If you want to collect and recycle that and to put back into a food and pharma, unless it's a clean material, we will not able to use it. So only way to use that clean, get back the clean way is currently what we know is chemical recycling. Until this chemical recycling gets evolved in all the market, I think it's a bit of challenge for us to get into the recycled content, but we can start the game somewhere. So we should start with the non-food segments or non-implicated segment on the side. Currently the recycling infrastructure is there, but then quality of infrastructure of the recycling is to be developed. That's where the R&D and the educational institution has to play a significant role. And obligation for the use of recycled content, if the recycling happens, so to use it back into the products, that's where. So for example, in the category 3, which is of MLP of multi-material structures, still there is a target to set about 10%. So that's a big target for the MLP materials.
Putting all this thing together successfully along with the team, so it's incredible, and it's definitely worth a little applause from me. So thank you for doing that. And I know, Tanveer, you've been doing this for as long as I've known you, for the past 12 years. Fantastic. So thank you. Me, but I'm not talking about future as in tomorrow or as in, 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. Maybe not for the generation that's sitting around here, the people who are the bloomers and the millennials, and, their time is come and gone. So into flexible packaging, we have 3 locations, one right out of Sahibabad, just across from IIP Delhi, one in Manesar, and the latest one we have is in Sri City down in South India. What we do is we make packaging. 70% of it is for food related items, so for food packaging, and 30% is non-food material. Culture needs to be changed, guys. आँख बंद करके सर में sand में डाल के रखो, nothing will change. You cannot be an ostrich with burying your head in sand. This type of culture, we have messed it up. But let's not do it for our future generations. And because of that mentality, we have a hard time bringing ourselves thinking about handling waste, and I'll come to that in a minute. But anyway, other trends in technology, you know, supply chain. You know, somebody mentioned about, you know, just in time and supply chains getting shorter. The customer wants the supply chain to be right at the back end of his wall. You know, the COVID taught us different things. One of the things we learned that, you know, relying on China and this and then and long lead times, you know, sometimes it's not a right solution. And so the future will evolve locally and globally in a different way. And again, there's new manufacturing technologies. Somebody talked about digital. You know, we used to live in a gravure world that changed into flexo printing, and then the flexo got into digital. Now I've seen customers who used to buy packaging or labels have now installed a little digital press at the beginning of their line. So they're little bottles, for example, pharmaceutical companies, you know, with their labels for the bottles. Instead of ordering, you know, 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, and the converters giving them problem, they're just printing it right there in line. Gone. So technology is changing the way a packaging is being reshaped. You guys have heard of wax worms, you know, so these are the worms that will actually eat up plastic as food. And their excrement is not plastic related. They are able to break those hydrocarbon chains. So that will, you know, hopefully change things. Nanotechnologies, you know, are different. You know, they've reduced the complexities in multi-layered laminates over the years.
To my ability. So a little outline about what I'm going to talk about is just one or two slides on India, then our company, then the trends on metal packaging, comparisons with the competing materials, and of course sustainability at last, and which is the topic everyone has been touching. Well, India, we are the seventh largest country of the world, second most populous country, and third largest contributor to global growth. This is an interesting slide. India yesterday, today and tomorrow. So yesterday, if you look at the year 1991, we were a population of 891 million. We've reached almost 1.45 billion people. The urban population, if you see, we were around 230 million people. Now we are almost touching 500 million in the urban population, which is really the consuming class and people who can afford more premium products and more packaging and more goods, so on and so forth. And the GDP ranking of the world, of India's ranking in the world, has also improved from 16 to 5. So I think we are heading in the right direction as a country, and with the growth of the country, I mean, we've always seen that if the GDP of the country is growing X, the growth of the packaging industry is almost 2X. So it's almost double the GDP. Hindustan Tin, we are the leading three-piece can manufacturing company. Completed 60 years of can making recently, and manufacturing all kinds of products when it comes to cans, whether it is food, beverage, non-food. We are a Delhi-based company, and we employ about 800 people in the factory in Sonipat. 90% of our business is food application and 10% non-food, and we export to about 20-21 countries. We are a listed company on the stock exchange, and we are a star export house, also recognized by the government of India.
Now, how does the glass business look in the whole gamut of packaging industry? So globally, we saw similar numbers in the morning. The estimated market for overall packaging is around $926 billion globally, and glass is 55 billion out of that. So a pretty small percentage, because a large part of the packaging will be secondary and tertiary. So the mix looks like this. As far as India is concerned, here as well glass is very limited. It's around $1.4 billion. And on the usage of this, you can see food is around 29%, beverages are 21%, and non-food applications, which will be cosmetics and other applied chemicals and all will be around 50%. Glass overall for India is an extremely promising industry. Why we think so? If you consider India, the per capita consumption of glass is around 1.8 kgs, compared to somewhere like maybe South Korea is 89 kgs per head of glass consumption, Germany around 50.5. So generally in the earlier days, maybe a decade back or so, we saw that the Western trends which are prevalent in those worlds generally took 3 to 5 years to reach here. Now because of the social media and extremely high connectivity there, that's the same thing is happening within a year or 2 years. So we are very optimistic that this whole industry is going to scale up. There are a host of reasons for that. There will be drivers for why this industry will scale up. India is a booming economy. Around 65 to 70% of our population demographics is less than 40 years of age. That's a high consumption demographic with higher per capita income. They are also well educated, they are demanding, so they'll be extremely privy about the quality of materials that they are consuming, and hence the type of packaging which they will demand is higher, which is the same trend which is being followed in the Western world. Today in India, the glass container packaging market looks like this. So it's dominated by the liquor segment. Liquor being, alcohol, it does not gel well with a lot of other kinds of packaging. So glass takes the priority because glass is essentially an inert medium. Followed by beer, and then you have pharmaceuticals and other, this pie is constantly changing as we speak, as because the COVID period has also instigated a lot of growth which will continue to be seen in the Indian pharmaceutical space. So we will see this pie expand over there in that area. As far as the demands are concerned, we see organic growth coming from liquor and beer segment, as especially in the coming years, as after 2 years of lockdown, we had limited access, and now the demand in the liquor and beer is essentially, the growth will be very high in that segment because a new batch of people is getting into the age of consuming these categories of products. Pharma, of course, India has become a hub of exporting pharmaceutical formulations. So this will continue to be a fulcrum of growth for the glass industry. And food and other segments, I'll talk about it in a bit. So this is how it looks today. The average daily glass requirement in the country is around close to 10,000 tons per day. So we manufacture around 2,000 tons per day, which translates to close to 8 million bottles per day of all sizes for various applications. So you can imagine what 10,000 tons per day looks like. And by 2025, 26, it will cross 14,000 tons per day requirement. So outside of the liquor we already know, liquor and beer, they are, the organic growth segments. But outside of the liquors, what is interesting here is this. The food segment will also see a large transformation. Today, when we talk about glass, food, you can essentially imagine, say, tomato ketchup bottles or coffee bottles. Why glass is preferred there? There are a few reasons. One, consumers prefer to see the product. So when you see the tomato ketchup, you will see the redness, and when you see the coffee, you want to see the coffee inside the jar. So being a transparent substrate, it has a very high marketability from a product standpoint, because coffee powder in itself doesn't sell, the form of the packaging sells.
And we get a better realization. Why should we go to an application where we'll probably not get that kind of realization? Why to push rPET in a product which will make it more costlier, rather than using it somewhere like R&R, we are doing R&R fabrics, which are getting, which is giving the more value to an rPET, which will never come in a PET bottle even if you add that. So that's my question. Is this the right way to do it?
Yes, one of the challenges. Already FSSAI has made a regulation for the related with the rPET. Already it is there. So then, no question if it is going to become a mandatory. Then no question for horizontal application. That, and I hope you got my answer.
Yeah.
metal or paper container. And now today, after 40 years in 2020, if you go any shopping complex or departmental store, you will see lots of material is plastic only. And out of them, mostly are polyethylene and polypropylene. Now, this transformation took place because of the different advancement take place in the polyolefin material. The first, I will discuss about the different advancement with respect to the polyolefin technology, then different advancement with respect to the polymer architect, and last the innovation related to the catalyst in additive system in polyolefin. So this is the beauty of technology. When somebody asks something, only technology can help us. So these are the various technology related to the polyethylene and polypropylene. If you know that polyethylene and polypropylene can produce either by gas phase, solution, slurry loop or bulk loop process. There are many technologies, around 20 technologies is there, but I cannot say which technology is good or which one is the bad, because each technology has its unique advantage over the others. We have to pick the right material from the right technology. This is a classic example of the recent development in the polyolefin material. I think this is very common truth that all 200 liters metal container is gradually shifted to the plastic 200 liter welding drum. But do you know what is the background behind this? Because when we ship any metal product, we need the stiffness. So increase the stiffness, we have to increase the chain length of the polymer molecule. So increase the chain length, we can increase in a single reactor system of the polymer chain length to huge amount, but parallelly we can face some difficulty in the processing. To overcome this difficulty, the new technology, actually Martek has developed a single loop reactor technology for this type of welding drum. But recently they have added one more loop in the series, which can capable of producing the dual loop system, which is capable of producing different types of the bimodal or broad molecular distribution, which can offer very good stiffness as well as a very good processability. And this technology is capable of producing a very low HLMI, around 2 to 2.5 HLMI grade. This is a safe and durable packaging solution from the Martek ADI technology. We are happy to announce that our recent Bhatinda complex has already commissioned this technology, and it will help to replace some imported material. Again, it is a step towards the Make in India initiative, where lots of imported material can be replaced. This is another advancement in the advanced TE material. Basically, advanced TE material is produced by combination of the slurry loop and the gas technology. So this combination is capable of creating the reverse monomer distribution for high molecular chain. Actually, the branching is happening in the high molecular chain, which can give a very good bimodal product for caps and closure application, as well as the low temperature LNG film, which can sustain at minus 40 degrees centigrade. So next generation PE film will offer keeps our food safe at minus 40 degrees centigrade. This is another example for technological development, which is the advanced TP from the Spherism technology. If you see this type of the large container is made of the PP homopolymer material, but this material needs a very good stiffness. So spherical can offer the good quality of product, but Spherizone offers is more tailor-made or superior product with respect to high stiffness grade. Normally the homopolymer stiffness comes around 1500, 1600, but Spherizone can offer the high stiff grade around 2250, almost 50% higher. And this is because the spherical technology is a single reactor system, which the reaction medium is behaved in such a way the reaction will take place to different conditions. So relatively broader molecular possible by the spherical technology. So this new advanced polypropylene will offer high stiffness packaging product, which will make our packaging safe. This is a catalyzed TPO, the catalyzed technology. The catalyzed technology is basically produce different types of tar polymer, which is a key material for sealing in the flexible packaging. So for this, basically 3 gaseous reactor is kept in a series, and here the reaction takes place by ethylene, propylene and 1-butene system, where tar polymer is produced. So this tar polymer is provide the advantage of polyolefin as well as the elastomeric property. So this all type of TPO based catalyzed technology helps to not sustainable, it is for the heavy packaging in the high speed business application. Now we cover the different development which take place to the architecture development of the polymer. So you know that for liquid packaging there is a huge role in the caps and closure. Basically the caps and closure is very.
Our next speaker is Mr. Pranav Parma. He is from Silicon Private Limited. He is currently working as Assistant Manager Technical Sales and has 5 years of experience in the packaging industry.
It can be used for absorb or dissolve some components inside the packaging while it's after it's packed. Hence, it gives you the optimum atmosphere for the product to increase its life. And it's called active packaging. Now, the importance of safe packaging, basically, as in Silicon, we are actually as a certified CGMP company, and we believe that the packaging it's gonna be in contact with your food product, so it's gonna be consumed directly. Hence, the safety of your food products, it's very important, so that your packaging material should be such that it does not contain any contamination, any impurities, etc. So we make sure that whatever we manufacture, it's coming to you untouched, unharmed, etc. Hence, we give you them to maintain the food safety and optimal quality. It also helps reduce waste, provides information to consumers, and we have varieties of range which provides for the portion sizes, and hence it preserves the freshness of the product. And since we are actually in pharma company, more in pharma, so we have a strict regime to follow the safety standards. Okay. Now, some of the latest development in our active packaging are this. So basically, active packaging, what we know are only the desiccant sachets. It can be moisture absorber, oxygen absorber, anything. So these are some of the new development which we have done in Silicon. One is ASOB. ASOB is basically fiber-based absorbent. It's very, very slim. It's thinner than the SIM cards, and it has absorption capacity of 70% of its weight. Hence, it can be used in blister packaging for pharmaceutical uses. Oxabite, it's very compact oxygen absorber. It's used where sachets cannot be inserted inside the bottles, pharmaceutical bottles, and etc. Hence, it helps in absorbing the oxygen inside the container. AccuFlip is basically it's a relative humidity regulator. It absorbs or dissolves. It basically absorbs or releases the moisture inside the container, hence maintain a particular RH. Like if some product is moisture sensitive, it helps in maintaining the RH of that product, hence and keeping it fresh. Well, EasySorb, it's ethylene gas absorber. It helps in increasing the freshness of the agro products by absorbing the ethylene gas. It's potassium permanganate free and it's 100% natural. So it's 100% safe for the use. Then for the conclusion, smart active packaging has the potential to improve the quality, safety and shelf life of your product. However, proper packaging and selecting the right solution are crucial for smart active packaging to work efficiently. And considering the properties such as MVDR and OTR, using appropriate sealing methods and selecting the right laminates.
So these are some of the innovations. I'm just giving one example. Similarly, we have something on ethylene scavenger also with the minimum 3 to 4 differentiators. That is number one. In the smart packaging system, we have solution for packaging of meat, packaging of milk, and packaging of even idli batter. Lot of times, as I told earlier also, when you take pasteurized milk and if it gets spoiled, you don't know when it's spoiled. But the indicator, which is very cost effective, it will cost you maybe 15 paisa. Or for that matter, meat if it is spoiled, or for that matter, batter, idli dosa batter, whether it is good or not, that indicators are there. So that is where the active packaging system comes. Now, coming back to the topic regarding the safety and application of nanotechnology in food. Nano is very, very good to talk, but it's very, very controversial area. Because till today, you don't know what nano is doing with you. If something is given to you in the nano form, how that is going to behave. And that is what the topic given to me, and I'm very thankful that it has a lot of gray areas, and what are the gray areas and how we need to look at that gray areas we will see. So in this we'll have just introduction, then properties. I'm sure a lot of you know about the properties of nano material and also how it can be used in the packaging applications and more so in active and smart packaging systems. And very importantly, I'll spend more time on the safety and toxicology of the nanomaterial in India as well as globally. And just to conclude, now I'm sure you know nano is nothing but the manipulation of matter to its a smaller level of a nano level, and in that process, if you look at just giving an example, if you take a water molecule, it has a 1/10 of the nano size, or if you take a normal virus, you say coronavirus, it will have around 100 nano. So that is that small size which you are looking. And what happens if you take the material and bring or break down the material to that level, it has a different behavior in terms of its surface to bulk atom ratio and the total surface area increase, because particle size you are reducing so less, the surface area tremendously increases and the reaction and reactivity is totally different. So hence the behavior, how it behaves, it gives you a lot of freedom, but it gives you a lot of problems also along with it. So there are different ways of, two ways rather, of making the nano. One is a top-down method, that is you take micromaterial, break down by different methods of, it can be mechanical grinding or erosing or some different methods, and then bring it down to the range of 1 to 100 nano, then it becomes nano. Or a reverse way, that is what you call it as a bottom-up approach. In the bottom-up approach, you take a smaller molecules or molecular level, join them together so that you get the range of 1 to 100 nano material. More than 100 nano, it is not nano. So that is where, that is a beauty of the whole particle size. If it is in that particular range only, I don't know why, it has a total different behavior. So these are two ways you need to look at. Now, coming back to the nanotechnology in food, I am sure some of food scientists are here. They know that nano is used in food technology. It can be in terms of anti-cracking agent, or it can be gelatinizing agent, or different forms of nanos are used. But when it comes to food packaging applications, that can be used for active smart packaging systems, and it can be used for so-called biodegradable or compostable materials or edible materials, and hence that is very, very useful area in terms of research and its application. What it does in terms of the property, it improves the physiochemical properties of the material when you combine this in different forms, either you incorporate or you coat or do something. Also, you can target the delivery of the material at a particular point in terms of active systems or in smart packaging systems. It can, as I said, increases the reactivity, and also it increases different properties in terms of optical properties or electromechanical properties, and also it gets in to the antimicrobiological property in some of the cases. So hence, in general, if you use this, it can give a better property to the packaging material, and also it can increase the shelf life of the food product where you are packing. So if you talk of nanomaterial, if you are incorporating the nanomaterial into the food matrix, what it does, that is one way where nanoclays or something you incorporate, it increases or enhances the barrier properties of the material by different ways. Or in terms of biodegradable materials or starch-based materials, you don't have the properties required. It can be the oxygen transmission rate, or it can be WTR. You don't have that. If you try to add this, you will improve, substantial improvement in the barrier properties as well as mechanical properties. In terms of active packaging systems also, as oxygen scavenger, ethylene scavenger, then sort of a moisture regulator, all that also, if you use that in in sort of a nano form, you will have a different reactivity and intelligent packaging. I'll just maybe deal in a couple of minutes on how it works. So if you take the polymer, if you just add the nano clay, and then you get a nano composite which will have a better barrier, excellent mechanical properties, thermal stability, and also there will be less flammability and lighter in weight. How this works, there are two matrices. I'm sure a lot of polymer chemists are here. There you have a continuous phase, the matrix, and then there is a reinforcement. The nano matrix gets as a reinforcement and it enhances the properties. Say if you take PLA and if you add MMT, you will see increase in the thermal resistance, or if you put it into PET also, you will have a durability improvement. More importantly, if you use the nylon and you use the nano clay in the nylon, its flammability or the resistance to heat increases substantially. So hence the nanomaterials are very, very important from the research point of view and non-food application point of view. Food application is once again the question mark whether it can be used. Now if you talk in terms of the active and smart packaging system, what is active packaging system? You are taking some material which does the activation or scavenging, and then you are putting that, incorporating to the packaging material or in the form of a sachet. In the process, what you are doing, the particular material is reacting with the gases. So in this process, instead of taking the normal material, if you take normal nanomaterial of that, make the nanomaterial and put the nanomaterial of that particular product or the active compound or activation compound, the requirement of the material is very, very less and the reactivity is so high, you will have better results. Similarly, if you are talking of intelligent packaging, what it does, that is an intelligent material, you are incorporating that along with this, and then it starts communicating. The response time, when you are making it into the form of a nano, the sensitivity is better, response time is very, very short. So hence, the nano application in active and smart packaging is tremendous. Now coming back to in terms of the active packaging systems, you divide it into three baskets broadly, which has a commercial importance. One is the antimicrobiological compound, then ethylene scavenging and oxygen scavenging.
So a lot of people have someday the machines will replace humans. So what I perceive, like if time permits, we can have a discussion on that, but we need not worry about this thing. Like artificial intelligence will replace some of the jobs, but not going to replace human beings. It brings efficiency. So also there is some digital twinning concept is there, like you have it is a in movies or in fiction you have seen pinching one, the twin will feel the other way. So similarly, if you can have a physical system and whatever happens to there is directly you are able to see on the digital world, like simulated with real-time connectivity with the physical system with all the parameters. So that also it will give from the learning from the past and optimizing for present as well as future events, also diagnostics, other things you can have. So those kind of possibilities are there with this one. So you all these digital technologies, artificial intelligence or whatever you call, all these are going to be part of our life in future. So how this is going to be beneficial for packaging industry? Like you can have predictive maintenance, like you can predict the failure of machines. Your packaging machines are once you entire supply chain, if you take vehicles, how your packaged material will behave in refrigerated containers, all those things you can have a predictive maintenance AI can do, as well as food waste reduction, like you can use it to predict expiration dates. Like in developed world, most of the food waste is because of this, like after expiry of a date you have to dispose of. So if you know, if you can segregate them and clear the inventory, so that kind of optimization also you can do with AI, as well as you can have personalization, like even you can individualize, customize or personalize the packaging. Using AI, you can use the same machine for different size, shape, materials, packets you can make. So that will be very easy with if you use AI. So AI in quality control also you can have many aspects of packaging like proper labeling is there or packaging material is there or not, or anything is missing in the packet also you can see, or AI is being used to automate the processes which to detect defects in materials as well as potential issues of product labeling. And in AI in logistics and supply chain management, like what we are doing in ICR, we are trying to have like traceability, like from farm to fork, if we can have traceability. So these things, it may sound fancy, but we want these technologies to penetrate at lower level also, distributive level, so that you can have this AI for logistics and supply chain management, especially for agriculture commodities. Let us say some banana is there and it is being transported from Jalgaon to Azadpur Mandi. So in between, like if we can monitor the oxygen level, ethylene level and temperature, all those things you can see whether it is ripening or not. If it is going to ripen, in between you can divert it, or you can do course corrections, or you can do that if reefer van is not functioning, the preventive triggering backup refrigeration, other things. So those kind of things you can have with AI. You can use these things and you can optimize transportation routes as well as schedules, or reduce transportation costs. And so all these things, like if you reduce the wastage, it is going to reduce your carbon footprint as well as it will be aiding in sustainability. So these are the ways, like we have already discussed, how by bringing efficiency you can enhance the sustainability. With this AI you can have better materials as well as how you reduce waste, as well as make the 3 S's are there, like safe and these things. You need smart systems, like like nano, you can have those things, but if you can put a chip on the packaging material and have this artificial intelligence to model and interact with the system, food as well as packaging and environment outside, the transportation, storage and all the environment up to consumer. So what we are seeing in first slide I showed, we are G20 leadership we are taking, and so if you want to give experience, like packaging is the ultimate experience provider, that in digital world we are leaders and we are giving better experience, like you have by a click of this you can get material delivered at your home, but the material after taking that one, how you experience it, that will be determined by the packaging material. So all the leaders of this packaging industry are here, so you are going to play a role how this you integrate this AI into your packaging systems, and how this can help in so that we can have better experience to all the consumers, and we can lead in packaging field also in the world.
My question is for Dr. Nasaya. So all that you told us about artificial intelligence is very tempting, almost unbelievable, we can say that. My question is like, when we think of incorporating it in the packaging industry, as you know that the cost of packaging is always limited to probably 5% of the product cost. So is India ready for it? Can we afford it?
Of developments taking place, if we have affordable chips, that going to revolutionize, like we expect, like with Silicon Fab City or other things coming up. So as soon as if we have the chips integrated into these packets, that could that day we can definitely have these things. But many of things sound fancy today, but we expect it to be part of our lives in tomorrow's life.
Just add something.
Government of India recognized your concern, and then based on this, they have given a huge project to IIT Kanpur. There, they are trying to look at the ink as the printing ink itself as the things. So that way, it can reduce the cost quite substantially.
And it is not a question. Basically, I just want to ask him if anybody else is doing in this their area what he told. So Narsaya sir, see, the thing is we are already working on digital twin for packaging, and also we have developed some solutions which are OCR based, object recognition and other things. So we have made a label application where it can identify the changes what is required on its own, and it will make the change also within the system from the database what you are providing, either any of the ERPs or any of that sort. So we are working on one more area where we are making analysis, the finite element analysis on the packaging, where we can drastically reduce the time. For design, we have an application we are developing already. It can, if you give all your primary inputs, it can calculate all the requirements in terms of design for paper-based as of now, and it can go ahead and release the drawings for you. That we have done. But analysis part, you know anybody who can, we can collaborate to make a solution for analysis.
Expertise there, and Central Institute of Post-Harvest Engineering and Technology at Ludhiana. We will, I will get in touch with you. You can give your details. We can see how we can collaborate or if you need anything. Thank you.
What sort of collaboration you are looking for? No, collaboration, because we are also working on the similar line of finite element analysis design for some sort of a containers, even bottles and all that sort of.
Yes, for that we have some case studies and
you have I think I'll be in touch with you. We'll work.
We are nearby.
Sure.
At Mysore and I am in Bangalore.
Sure.
We can quickly touch base.
Thank you.
Thank you.
that we can remember about the way packaging was. And I would like to start by asking the panelists if they would like to give us some insights about what they remember about packaging, what are the learnings or insights that we have forgotten about that. So may I invite first as Mr.
Packaging and the society, the producers and all stakeholders have to be part of the circularity and sustainability. This is my view.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to add something?
Hi. So, talking about yesterday, what I learned from yesterday is, see, normally I tell this in most of my talks, that if there was a gold medal for recyclability, the country that would win it was India. 20 years back, if I remember right, we used to recycle everything. We used to store all the newspapers, all the any plastic material that we get, we used to store and give it to the kabadi wala, and that is how we were so sustainable. Of course, with changing era now, things have changed, and we are now following the Western world, which is not so recyclable friendly. But that is what I learned from yesterday. Talking about plastic, yesterday, like what Sunil just said, it was the best thing. Plastic was the best thing to have. Why? Because that time the world was facing deforestation. we were losing forest because of paper. And paper was the #1 enemy. And plastic was the one who saved the environment that time by arresting deforestation to a large extent. Today, yes, it is negative because it is littered around, it is very easily people just throw it, and that is what is causing the problem. So, talking about yesterday, I remember plastic as the best thing that has happened to the world. And
to add to that, plastic has been acknowledged as a savior during COVID. The role that plastic has played, maybe because there are some new types of plastics we heard about today.
Yesterday, in packaging and further research in this. I'm very happy to learn that this scope has emerged so much, and I was truly delighted to see my female scientists talking about it here. So yes, I think we all are moving in the correct direction, and we'll be very happy to get contributions to the journal from everybody who all are present over here.
From Whitmore and Foster. Get your